Hello, welcome to Bars and Bells Refining video series. My name is Lauren, and together with Ian, we are exploring the kettlebell swing. This is video 1 of 2. In this video, we will start by watching Ian swing, and then we're going to break it down. Stay tuned for the second video where we'll actually swing a kettlebell. Let's start by watching. Ian is going to perform 5 repetitions of a kettlebell swing. Things to note: a swing is a hinge. The hips are going straight back. At the top, we're in that plank-like position, and the bell is coming to about chest height on every swing. In between, shake it off. But before we pick up that bell, let's start with the deadlift. With your kettlebell nearby, a medium kettlebell is ideal for our practice today. Standing over top of your bell, feet just slightly outside of your shoulders. Right now, you're going to chop your hips, sending them back, reaching towards the back wall. As we're going here, our arms are going to extend to touch our kettlebell, but we're not lifting it yet. Right now, you'll note a nice long spine. Head is looking towards the floor to keep it neutral, and our hips are back. We're loaded through our hamstrings and glutes, and we have that nice core brace. To stand up, push down and out on the floor, extending those hips all the way to tall. At the top position, root your feet, push away on the floor, brace your core, and squeeze those cheeks. Let's do that again. At the top, we have our feet rooted in the floor, pushing down and away. Our glutes are engaged, that core is braced. Let's repeat that. Hip hinge, push them back. Load up the hamstrings and glutes. Notice those shins stay vertical. Without your kettlebell again, drive down and away to stand up tall. Either continue repeating that body weight, or we're going to pick it up this time. Hip hinge back. This time the hands will grip the bell. When you grip, think about ripping that handle in two in order to pack your shoulders and engage your lats. Preload by picking it up and then actually picking it up and drive your hips through. Squeeze the cheeks, brace the core, place down, keeping that same tension on your core. If allowed, repeat 2 more times. Preload and up. Hips drive through, tight cheeks, core brace, hips go back. Full transfer of weight to the floor 1 more time, brace the core, drive down and away, up, tight, and then park the bell, leave the bell on the floor, stand up without, and shake it out. After working on our hinges, we're going to step back and discuss the setup of our swing. Have your big toes touching the belly of the kettlebell. Now from here, we're going to rotate 1 foot out 90 degrees and then pivot on the toe ball. Rotate the other foot out 90 degrees, pivot on the toe ball. Allow yourself to rock back and forth, finding a comfortable foot position. This is approximately the distance you'd like to start in your swings. Once you get more familiar, you'll find your position right away. Let's get set up. Hip hinge those hips back. Right now, we're going to place our hands on the bell. We are not lifting it. With our hands on the bell, we could grip the bell and tip it on its side. Right here, we should feel those lats engaged, the load through our hamstrings and glutes. Now let's place that bell down and stand up without. Drive those hips through, squeeze and brace. Repeat 2 more times. Hip hinge. Once down there, grip the bell, tip it on its side, feel that load, let it go, up without. 1 last time. Getting used to that hinge on every one, keeping the shins vertical, the long spine, letting it go, and up without. From here, stay where you are, and let's add on working on the patterning of what a swing is. We're going to hinge. This time we're not going to grip our bell, but just slightly touch it. The first move of our swing is what's called a hike pass, where we load up our hips by pulling those arms in. Now, to stand up, the hips are going to drive through. You're going to keep those arms connected to your body as long as possible. And then it'll be the hips that drive the arms into what we call this float position. In this float position, notice that Ian's arms are in level with the chest, his shoulders are slightly retracted, and the elbows nice and straight. From here, the arms are slowly going to start to fall. Try not to move until it gets too close, and then send those hips back. Load up that hike position and repeat. The hips drive through to tall. The arms float off up to that chest height, and then the arms will fall. And once you need to move, load up 1 more time for patterning this swing. Hips drive through. That's what sends the bell forward and up. Light pause. Bell will fall. This time we're going to go through that hike pass position and place the imaginary bell back on the floor. Stand up, give it a little shake. Now that we've patterned what the swing actually looks like, let's pattern the timing of it with a drill called pop and chops. We'll set up in that hinge position, have our hands out to the side with the elbows bent. From here, as we hinge, we're going to chop those hips back, loading up and pop those hips through. For 5, here we go. Chop and pop, chop and pop. 3 more. At the back, load and pop. Last 2, tight at the top. Last 1, and then stand up and shake it all out. Whew. Take a second off. Let's review everything all the way back to the beginning, starting with our loaded deadlifts. With your feet on either side of the kettlebell, practice that hinge position. We'll pick it up right away if you feel comfortable. Pack your shoulders, preload, and hop to tall. Hip hinge, full weight transfer on the floor. Repeat 2 more times. Pack and lift, hip hinge, bell goes down. 1 last deadlift here, hop, and then bell will go back down to the floor. Standing up without, give it a little shake. Let's set up accordingly with those toes touching the bell. Rotate and rotate and rotate, pivoting. Great, we're ready. Setting back up into our hinge position, our hands will go on the bell. We'll tip it on its side for 2. So tip, preload, let it go, up without. Repeat 1 more time. Hip hinge, grip bell, feel it in your hands. Feel it in those lats, let it go, up without. Next, let's review the pattern of the swing. From here, we'll set up. Hands touching the bell, but not going to pick it up. Pull to the hike pass position. Hips drive through, bell floats at the top. Plank-like tension, bell starts to fall, don't move. Hip hinge. Repeat 2 more times. Pop. Tight at the top of that swing, fall and hinge. Last one here, all the way up, through, and this time placing the imaginary bell back on the floor. Nice. Standing up without. Our last drill here was the speed of the kettlebell swing, our pop and chops. Taking those knives, chopping the hips back, and popping them forward for 4 more. Chop and pop, chop and pop. That strong exhale as those hips drive through for timing. Last one, and whew, shake it off. Excellent. Thanks for joining us in this refining video series, video 1 of 2 on our kettlebell swings. Practice those drills and exercises in order to join us in our next video where we'll load the kettlebell swing. Take your time. This is a lot of work and tension. Make sure you build on the basics before advancing too quickly. My name's Lauren. Together with Ian, we'll see you soon for loaded swings. Goodbye.